All right. Is it happening? I don't know, but the nerves just hit, so it feels like it's happening. Okay. The OBS setup is kind of new, so I can't tell what's going on. But I'm here to click launch on a Kickstarter. I think I got everything set up. Let me just double check. I gotta post some stuff somewhere. It says I'm live. Sending now on Discord. There's about 10 million things you gotta do when you launch a Kickstarter. And promotion is one of them. Okay. So, we're about 7 minutes away from noon o'clock. Woo! Man, okay. I'm a little bit tired because sleeping did not happen very much last night. Surprisingly, because not this is what's gonna happen. I was up late, but not like too crazy late getting everything ready. It was just, a rough night's sleep because this is a big deal. Played this with Blueholme. Oh, right on. I'm not familiar with Blueholme. Okay. Let's do this, man. Let's let's launch this thing. So, Dragontown and the Darkness Below. I feel like all I've been talking about is this adventure. So it's a collection. It's a 12 chapter book. It's a collection of a bunch of different locations. Big adventure. It's system neutral, so you can play with Blueholme or whatever fantasy role-playing game you like. And I'm really proud of it. I wrote it. I illustrated it. There's tons of maps, weird characters. I just got a warning. The stream is lower than recommended. Okay. Oh, geez. Technical difficulties. How do I adjust the bitrate? I guess I'll ask, like, does the stream look good or is it a little choppy? Stream looks great. Okay. Hi, everybody. Okay. I'm just not gonna worry about it too much. Get the king's claw from the tree south of town. Yup. Okay. All right. I just got a big warning that popped up is all. So, okay. I'm gonna put this up here. This over here. Hello from Sweden. I'm gonna try and pay as much attention to chat as I can, but at the beginning here, as I'm getting everything set up, and I'm gonna be like going from window to window and stuff, I might miss some things. So, let's see. From Germany, this is gonna be awesome. Okay, I can close Discord now. YouTube. Okay. On this screen over here, I have the page. So right now it's just the pre-launch page. Excuse me, I'm getting nervous, man. And yeah, real simple. Soon this should like click over and be the actual page. Oh man, it's only 3 minutes away. So I guess at 11:59, I'm gonna click the button and see what happens. I got check marks all over Kickstarter, so it should be good to go. Let me just do this. Matt Finch just launched the Tome of World Building 2. Yeah, September's probably the month for Kickstarters. I'm really excited about Pirate Borg. Whoop whoop. Eric, what's up, dude? Should we do it? Should we just click the button? I think... What is this down here? Oh, this thing. Okay. Stream settings. Let's do it. Hey, Michael. Hey, dude. Okay, I'm gonna minimize that. It's 11:58. 2 minutes and counting. So once I launch it, I'll go through what everything it. We'll look at the Kickstarter page and go through exactly what all this is and everything. I'm gonna click the button. All right, are we ready? 11:59. Your launch determines funding's all or nothing. If you reach the funding goal, let's do it. Oh man, this feels crazy. Congratulations, your project is live. All right. Here we go. Here we go. Okay. So let me come over here. I'm going to exit full screen for a second and refresh the window. There it is. There it is. Let me get rid of that. We'll F11 again, so it's full screen. Oh my gosh. Okay. This is insane. How is there? That's like really fast. How is like it even possible to click through? Oh, you know what? I this is kind of crazy, but I gotta send a message really quick on Discord here. So sorry for the typing. This is crazy. Okay. Oh my gosh, dude, what? All right. I'm gonna scroll down because I want it's this is insane. Okay. Okay, so the first thing is there's a video, a little. It's not quite an animation, but I tried to make like a fun video about the tone of. Man, thank you guys. Yes, thank you. Yeah, I tried to make a video about the kind of the tone. Look, we're live streaming. I'm a scatterbrained kind of person in general. This is overwhelming, so it's going to be like extra scatterbrained. It's just how it's going to be. Box set grabbed. Oh man, this is great. So, okay, I want I want to talk about the project a little bit. Really proud of the kind of animation intro thing. I think it watch that when you have a second, because the I think it like really explains the tone of the adventure. Um, and then let's just scroll down. I guess the first thing to look at is the rewards. Um, Thank you, T Catch. Thanks, dude. Um, Box set is grabbed. Yes. Okay. So real quick, I'm gonna go through the rewards here because this is the basics of what this campaign is all about. So there's a PDF of the adventure. Um, the adventure is 208 pages. You can kind of see the books flipping through. It's system neutral, so whatever fantasy tabletop role playing game, um, it'll work for it. There's a bunch of weird stuff. I think it's a great intro adventure for like new players, um, and but I also think there's a lot of like weird, kind of different things in there that makes it good for old players, seasoned veterans. Um, it's not scrolling because I'm looking at the wrong page. Okay, yes. All right, there we go. Okay, here's the book and what's inside. Um, okay, rewards. There's a PDF. Thanks, Dirk. There's a PDF. There's the hardcover book, which is this right here. Oh, the green disappears. um, there is a box set, which maybe I'll go through the all the stuff in the box set in a little bit, but a lot of fun stuff. The box set is really meant to be the kind of like special edition of the book with all the things you would need to like bring the book to your table. So it's meant for like if you intend on playing this adventure in person, consider the box set kind of thing. And then there is an all-in tier, an everything tier that includes the box set, which is the book and the digital and everything, plus all of the add-on rewards, which are basically all of the zines I've made. It's basically my entire catalog of zines all in one go. Okay, with that out of the way, 213 people have backed it already. What is happening? Dude. Oh my. Wait, it says 59 backers right there. Oh no, I've backed 213 Kickstarters. Oh, that's funny. I mean, 60 backers already is insane. That's awesome. Okay. Physical zines. Yes. So the add-ons. Okay, hold on. I want to look at the chat and kind of talk to you guys for a bit, and then I'll get into the weeds of like what the Kickstarter is all about. Because I want to say thank you. Back the hardcover book, box set grabbed. Don't let. Okay, we'll talk about shipping. We'll talk about shipping because it's a whole thing. We'll get into shipping when we get there. Grammy boy, so hyped. Oh, thank you. That I appreciate that. My squeaky chair. Okay. Whoops. I lost. Okay. Planning on grabbing the box set. Yes, Josh. Right on. Quarter of the way in 5 minutes. Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh. Physical zines, yep. A bunch of them. I think there's 28 extra zines. Mike, I think Mike, your package for your daughter is in my mailbox right now. I'm sorry it took a minute, but I threw in an extra zine for you. So your last order is in the mail. Thank you, Aslan. Oh, this is so cool. Okay. Gonna be honest. Yeah, hey, I understand being tired of Kickstarter stuff. I backed 213 of them apparently. Um, uh, but you know the way I wanted to do this, and maybe we'll get into the details of why certain things are certain ways for this Kickstarter. But the way I wanted to do this required Kickstarter, and yeah, we'll get into it. We'll get into it. Eric, dude, you're the best. You're the best, man. Elder Goblin Games. Yes, got the box set. Dubious. Brandon, you've been waiting for a while. I have too. It's yeah, this one's been a long time coming. Coyote hardcover and the Map Maker zines. Yes. Casey, appreciate you guys. Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, Casey, you and Kristen are thanked in the book. So you're in there. Love you too, Brandon. I just sent you a message on Discord. Hope you saw it. This is insane. My cheeks are flushed from all of this. This is crazy. Wow. Number 63. Wow. Yeah, we'll talk about shipping. We'll talk about it. Ducey, yes. Longtime supporter. Appreciate you, dude. Pasta Luke, likewise. Chandler, likewise. Oh, man. Thank you, Nico. Cooper, appreciate it. This is crazy. Yeah, man. Wow. Okay. I'm trying to catch up here. Thank you, Jordan. Need backup zines for the kids. Ooh, a Dragon King. That sounds fun. Ben? Yeah, yeah. There's multiple. There's three. Let's say 2.5 dragons in the Dragontown book. Yeah. So there's more than one dragon. Thank you, Rudy. Jason. Yeah, God, my like cheeks. 213 is rookie numbers for backing. Man, I guess for how long I've been on there, but it feels like a lot. I don't want to know what the actual like dollar amount is. Jason. Yeah, dude. Yeah, okay. All right. So Jason brings up the cloth spine. So the preview book that I've been showing off is not the actual book. It's close. I mean, it's the book, but there's some major differences. It's like and there's going to be a cloth spine, so the red is going to be cloth, and there's going to be some spot gloss on the cover. So like, if the cover design, like where it says darkness below, is like a little hard to read, but there's going to be some spot gloss on it, so it's like shiny, and the binding is going to be Smith sewn, so it like opens and lays flat and is really sturdy. So I want this book to be super sturdy, because my intention is you're going to run the adventure at the table or online and have the book in front of you and be flipping back and forth and, like using this book. So I want it to be really sturdy. So the Smith sewn binding and the cloth spine, all of that. And that's kind of the reason there's no like special edition cover or anything. Like I want to make like the exact book that I want this to be. Yeah, so there's just one version of the book, and it's the best version. And yeah, I'm sure I'll talk more about the design of the book and stuff as we go. Squirrels, thank you. Mapmaker books are goated. I appreciate that. Almost halfway there in 10 minutes. Oh my gosh. In 15 minutes. Wow. When should you expect to get the book? Great question. So there is a timeline towards the bottom of the page. So the let's see, the Kickstarter will wrap up towards the end of October. Usually it takes like 2 or 3 weeks for Kickstarter to like finish all of their like charging cards and doing all their stuff, and like 2 to 3 weeks for them to send me the money. So somewhere around there, I might just do it before. No promises, but I might just like, no, wait, I have to. As we go through this, you're going to see there's a lot of logistical things that, like I understand in concept, but I don't, like I understand the process I'm going to go through to like make all of this stuff happen. And it's just me doing all this. So like patience, have patience with me, please. I know there's stuff that I probably left off the Kickstarter page, like important information that just got overlooked. So as this whole process goes on, like, I'm going to do my best. And so I'm doing my best to make sure that this book gets to you as quickly as possible. So that's a big thing. But the Kickstarter ends, I think there's like a couple of weeks, and then I'm pretty sure I'm going to go through backer kit. You'll get an email to say like, hey, give me your email so I can send you the digital version. And so like basically sometime in November, you will get the digital version of the book. The book is done. So that's a big reason why, I want to get it to you as quickly as possible, and get it to the printer as quickly as possible. So in November, the PDF will go out to you, and I'm gonna hold off on sending it to the printer just a little bit, because I feel like if a bunch of people are looking at the book, they're gonna spot little things that should be fixed, and I want to have that, and I also want to have another person give it a good proofread, just to make sure I didn't mess anything up. And then so in December, I will be sending everything to the printer, and then there's like a round of proofs that happen, and then it has to ship. And so in theory, the books should be to me sometime in April or May. And then as soon as I get the books, then they will be shipped to you. So looking at like May, June, probably safer to say June, just like, you know, if there's like some revisions on the proofing and stuff, you know, that process can take some time. So yeah, that's the timeline. I think I probably missed some stuff in there. Have a good vacation. I'm a 10,000-aire. Yes. Oh my gosh, this is insane. This is crazy. Thank you, Karen. Sorry, I'm missing some of the chat here. 10,000. Yeah. Joshua, right on, dude. Yes. Ooh, Spruce, that's awesome. Let me know what game shop you work at. I have I've thought a little bit about how wholesale and stuff is going to go, but I have not thought about that in terms of this campaign. I know sometimes people do like retailer tiers and stuff, but I think I might just wait until I have all the books in hand. And then like maybe I'll put together a spreadsheet of yeah, that's something I should consider. Or maybe do like a like how to collect retailers and stuff, because I know this book is gonna go to some game shops. I just haven't figured out the logistics of how I'm gonna do that yet. Something you noticed. Okay. Teenage Mutant Tunnel zines are advertised as 20, but on the add-on the price is 24. Okay. Yes, thank you. Let me fix that really quick here. That is important. Oh boy. Rewards. Add-ons. Edit. Thank you. Okay. I'm so glad I saw that. Yeah, so the zines are bundled. Is it what do I have it as on the website? Yeah, 20. Okay. So all the zines are bundled together. All the add-ons, and they're slightly discounted from what they are on my website because they're in these bundles. Now, my recommendation is if you are fine with just getting digital versions of the zines, well, you know what? Just get what you want. If there's individual zines you want, grab them on the website. If you are okay waiting until the books ship to get the zines, the physical zines in the mail, then you can get them on the Kickstarter page. Okay. Boop. Let me try and catch up here. Oh boy, the chat kind of scrolls a little weird. So kind of like it trips me out a little bit. Jordan, Yes. Oh, Jordan. Okay. At some point I will update the page with your quote. I have a quote from Jordan. Um, sorry, things got a little mixed up last night as I was rushing to finish the Kickstarter page. Boom, boom, boom. Just saw the early backer reward. Yes. Okay, let's scroll down to that so all you early backers can see what is going on there. Where is it? Here it is. Yeah, so backing in the first 48 hours gets you this little dragon patch. I mean, I say little. It's a 3-inch embroidered patch. So that's just a fun little extra thank you for all the early support. It's kind of a fun little gift there. Bum, bum, bum. They're two kids. Maybe you need two patches. I don't think I will remember to um, to to do that, but if you email me around the time that shipping is happening and kind of like gently remind me of that, I might throw in an extra patch for your kiddos. Um, Always a good solo resource. Um, how's the random table situation? So it's like half and half, I'd say. So each chapter is, you know what I would say to do is download the preview chapter, or the preview um, PDF that's in there, um, and take a look. That'll give you a good idea. There are random tables here and there. There's a decent amount of random tables, I would say, um, but each the thing about this adventure is that each chapter is kind of its own thing. Like as I was designing it, I wanted each chapter to be, it's like each chapter is a different location, but then I also wanted each location to be like a kind of different, almost like a little design challenge for myself. So like there's chapter 1 and 2, or chapter 1 is like Dragon Town. So it's like, what does an adventure look like inside a town? The idea is like, the players meet in the tavern and like kick off the adventure. The players don't have to meet in the tavern in this adventure, but that's an option. And then chapter 2 is the ruined castle. So it's like a more traditional dungeon. I forget how many rooms there are. 12 maybe, something like, it's a ruined castle dungeon. So it's like, how do you get in? How do you explore it? Chapter 3 is the Windsong Woods. So that's like a hex crawl. That's kind of like, I think I call it like a spiraling hex crawl. You start on the outside of the woods and you're trying to move in. And it's kind of like random and weird. So like that one would probably be chapter 2, or chapter 3 rather, would be really good as a solo kind of adventure. Chapter 4 is the Shadespeare Mountains, and that's a point crawl. So like going, making your way through the mountains, getting to choose like, all right, I want to go this direction or this direction, and so on and so on. So like, point crawl would probably work great as a solo kind of thing. I I think it would work. I think it would work mostly. Yeah, yeah. Kyle, what's up, dude? Um, Thank you, man. Okay, the chat just like jumped way down. Um, Yes. Evan, thank you. Sorry, I'm getting distracted over here. Okay. Thank you, Evan. Kyle, Matthew, Bogren, Tiny Dungeon. I want the Tiny Dungeon second edition book so bad, but it's like really out of print. Um, Excited for the patch. You guys got a patch. Um, the Fred Rogers of Dungeon. Who is Fred Rogers? Is that Mr. Rogers? I get Bob Ross a lot. I've never gotten Mr. Rogers. I didn't realize his first name was Fred though. It's funny. Bogren, thank you. David, thank you. Yes, Brandon. Yes, right next to Monstrous. They're very different size books, but it'll still look cool. Diversions, puzzles, and games. Ooh, Portland, Maine. Sounds awesome. Okay, I'm trying to keep up. Thank you, Victor. Oh yeah. So Starborg will be available in the online store very shortly. Probably like next week. So and patrons will hear about this later today. But there's like this little glitch that's happening in Patreon. I don't think it's my fault. I think it's a thing with how they've switched up the billing and stuff. Basically, addresses are not importing to me correctly, and so I'm having trouble mailing out the two outstanding Starborg issues. I've contacted Patreon. I'm getting it sorted out. So there's like a little bit of a delay, but those are gonna go out, and then as soon as those are mailed to patrons, then I will put them in my online shop. So that's why there's a delay. I haven't been the best at communicating this because it's like this frustrating thing that's been going on as I've been trying to get all this Kickstarter stuff together, but I'm getting it sorted out. Appreciate the patience, all of that. So yeah, those don't worry, all the zines will be in the online shop as well. Boom boom boom, Castle Gloom Shroud zine, yeah. I just have to do the layout and the like illustrations and stuff. So that's gonna be like my next few days of work here. I'm very excited about that one. That's this month's zine on Patreon. It's dude, it's it. What? Oh my gosh, this is crazy. Wow. Yeah, Castle Gloom Shroud is the zine on this month's Patreon. It's like a Castlevania inspired dungeon. It's gonna be fun. Victor, thank you. Oh yeah, you got the good tiny dungeon. Um, Thank you, Carbo. Yeah, keep creating. Yes. Will the PDF version come with the printable version of the cards, maps, and other things like the box set? Yes. So I don't know if they'll necessarily be printable. That's something I haven't. The cards will definitely be printable. The maps, the map I'll think about that. I mean, you'll definitely get the player facing versions of the maps. Um, yeah, everything that makes sense for there to be um, for there to be like digital versions of, there will be digital versions of. Let's put it that way. Um, and like there's some stretch goals and stuff that will be like one of the first. I feel sort of confident talking about the first stretch goal. Let's scroll down to that. Um, so I actually made a video on this. So 25,000. We'll do the Lunar Tower postcard dungeon. So it's a 5.5 by 8.5 postcard, so like same size as the book. So it'll, I don't know if it'll be vertical or this is the back of the book, by the way. Probably get like a little bit updated, but there's gonna be like, oh, I don't know if there's gonna be a barcode. Am I gonna do a barcode? I might try and not do a barcode, because like, who wants a barcode on their like fantasy tome? You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah, 5 by 7, no, 5.5 by 8.5 postcard, like map on the front, all the info on the back. I did a video about the Lunar Tower, and so this one is actually, speaking of random tables, there is at the very beginning. So there's the map. Let me see here. There's the map of the Malamir Valley there. So the kind of surrounding areas of Dragontown. And there's a D10 random encounter table. And one of them is the Lunar Tower. So every full moon, a lonely tower appears on a hill. At the top of the empty tower sits a blind white owl. It will answer a single question truthfully in exchange for a song. And so this postcard dungeon expands that random encounter into a fun little. I think for this one I wanted to do like a combat lists dungeon. So that was my little design kind of challenge to myself, as like a dangerous but still combat-less dungeon. I think if I'm there might be a sort of combat encounter in there. Not really though. Yeah, it's more of a trap. It's like a kind of like fun trap dungeon. Calling them traps too. Puzzle trap. I don't know. It's cool. It's gonna be good. Okay. Yeah, Evan. Yeah, we're gonna make it, Evan. Thank you, dude. Wow. 164 backers. That's 165 backers. Always right on. Thank you, Josh. Sorry if I missed you. Yeah, good vampire castle adventure just in time for Halloween. Yeah. Legacy of the Wizard. Let me. It's like ringing a bell. Oh yes. I definitely rented this game and did not make it far as a kid. Yeah. It does look cool. Hey, speaking of like old Nintendo games, my plan for today, when all this settles down, is to play some UFO 50. Have you guys seen that game? It is awesome. It is awesome. Thank you, Daniel. Yeah. And Falcon. Yes. Pretty cryptic. Yeah. Like most Nintendo games, right? Okay. So let's go through some of this stuff. Talk about what's going on in this campaign, right? So the book, I think I've kind of explained the book a little bit. There's 12 chapters. Um yeah, Michael. Yeah. I might need to check out a little bit. So some UFO 50 might be the way to to do that. Um, ran a randomly generated adventure from the Starboard books. Yes. Yeah, I love how Kyle set all of that up. Hey, okay, here's something good. So, Night Noon Games in the chat. Um, can you like I can't do it from here, but everybody should click on Night Noon Games, um, or like just search it in YouTube and go follow his channel. So Michael has been helping me get organized and do a bunch of stuff so my head doesn't explode setting up this campaign. He is a super rad dude with a super rad YouTube channel that I love, and there will be more news about something very, very cool that Michael is working on for Dragontown coming very soon, I would say. um, so I'm gonna tease that a little bit. I think, unless Michael, if you just want to like say what it is, we can say it. I don't know. I think it's gonna be actually insane. And like everybody who backed it is gonna be surprised. That you're gonna get like this whole extra thing, and it's gonna be crazy. um, okay, any information on what's gonna be on the inside of the GM screen? Yep. Um, yeah, yeah, yeah. So the Magic Apple table that's in the book. So it's in the free preview PDF as well. Will be in there. I'm gonna do a list of names, so kind of like setting appropriate names of, if you need names for a character, which every character in the book has um, names, but as I'm running stuff, I always find that like something comes up and you need a name. So there's gonna be some names. There's gonna be uh, my mind is blanking. I do have it written down. I'm not gonna go searching through the. I think there's gonna be a couple more like above ground encounters, just like kind of system neutrally kind of encounters, and then some below ground encounters. And then there's going to be some kind of the same information about on the using this guide page. This camera setup isn't totally the best, but the sort of how to convert the system neutral, some advice on like quickly converting like the system neutral stuff. So when there's a monster, there's like a couple of like, they're not stats. It's just indications of like strengths and weaknesses for the monsters. So some of like that stuff of like sort of like a helpful, like, okay, I can explain this. So basically, a monster in the book, the example monster is an ogre, right? And they have health, speed, armor, and damage. It's like a 4 pip scale, right? So an ogre has 3 out of 4 health. It has 2 out of 4 armor, 1 out of 4 speed, and 3 out of 4 damage, right? And then it has some like kind of like story abilities. So like it has stomp. Its feet are big enough to squish. Tree stump club. It ripped a tree right out of the ground. So like that, and those are like just okay. This is if combat happens, I know what this monster is doing. How that applies in whatever game you're playing is kind of up to you. Um, and then the last one for the ogre says like impervious to pain. Says won't give up once a fight begins. So like if you like maybe skip a morale check with the ogre and he has a tree stump club, so he's got whatever the big like two-handed like biggest big huge weapon is, that's what I would give to this ogre. And then I would also give him like a kick or stomp. Stomp is the ability, like some kind of maybe like knockdown or prone ability with his kick, right? And then the stats. So inside the GM screen, really what it's going to be is like an explanation of what a 1 out of 4, a 2 out of 4, 3 out of 4. So like a 1 out of 4 is an underwhelming statistic, like the speed of a shambling zombie. And then like a 4 out of 4 is an overwhelming statistic, like the armor of an iron dragon. So just having that kind of info in the right there in the GM screen will be super helpful if you have the book open to whatever monster and something like isn't clicking. You'll be able to like look at the GM screen, see what the kind of stats mean really quickly and convert them on the fly. My nose itches. Hopefully that all makes sense and sounds good. Yeah. Okay. Let's Anim, you're not late to the party. It hasn't even been 45 minutes. Just pledged for the box set. Yeah. Bogren, yes. Original Dragontown zine backer. Yeah, so there's it's been such a 16. Wow. Sorry, my mind my mind is all over the place. So yeah, the original Dragontown was a Zine Quest campaign, and then the subsequent chapters were released as zines on Patreon. There has been, if to me, it feels significant amount of change as everything has been collected and kind of reworked and stuff. I think saying significant amount of change makes it sound like there's big story changes and like reworking whole chapters and stuff like that. I wouldn't say that's true, but it feels significant, and there's a lot of little things that got tweaked and changed and fixed up to make it all flow together nicely and make as much sense as possible and just be as good as it possibly can. So in that sense, yeah. The coins. Okay, let's look at the box set. Let's look at the box set here, because you talked about the book a bit. So the box set. It comes with the book. It comes with the box. Now the box. Okay, to answer your question very quickly, the coins. Let's go down here to the coins. It comes with 2 coins. They're 1.5 inch. There's a gold one and there's a silver one. Pog Slammer size. Yeah, I think it probably is. It's 1.5 inch. Pogs might be 2 inch. I don't know. I'm curious now. I saw that Pogs are like, the company is like coming back. It's a little bit bigger. Pogs are, oh no, wait. It's a little bit smaller. Pogs are 1.6285 inches in diameter. And so this will be 1.5. It's a little tiny bit smaller, but you can still slam some Pogs with these things for sure. Well, they're actually made out of zinc alloy, so they'll be light. I don't know what Pog Slammers are made out of. I say light. They'll feel like a coin. As long as they have Alf Pogs, dude. Okay, so the box set. Let's talk box set. Where to even begin? Okay, I'm going to run through the components, and then we'll talk about the actual box, because that's something that's not really on here because it's still in progress. I think it's going to be very cool. So first of all, a big part of this adventure is the maps. They're all, like everything, they're all hand drawn, and they're all kind of specifically made to help run the adventure. So like I was kind of talking about, the design of each chapter is a location. You know what? My nose just started itching like crazy. It's kind of weird, but I'm going to take my Claritin on camera here. Just, I forgot to do it in the chaos of launching the Kickstarter. I had to take it this morning, and I'm starting to feel it. So, I'm going to just show that it's Claritin, just to, make sure we're all good. So, yeah, sponsored by Claritin. I have no brand allegiance to Claritin, but it is a lifesaver recently. So, anyway, the maps. So, yeah, each chapter is a unique location. The maps, I really wanted them to like help you run the game. So in the book, the maps are all like they're super clear. Now, one thing that I know that's going to come up is the maps are always kind of like at the beginning of the chapter, and then there's 10, 12, however many pages after the map that kind of describe what's going on the map. So the maps aren't, it's not like the map is reflected on every page, and you're going to have to flip back and forth, right? And I know that for some people, they don't like that. I actually love that. I find that the reason you have a nice sturdy book, there's something really enjoyable about turning pages in a book. And this is something that as we go through this box set, I'm going to kind of explain my thought process behind this stuff, and it might not totally align, but a big part of this Kickstarter is I really wanted to make the version of this that I think is the coolest, I'm hoping that you agree, but there might be some decisions that um, feel a little bit different. But the decisions were thought out, right? So um, I really enjoy flipping through books. The same. It's like I don't really enjoy trying to do math at the table, but I enjoy rolling dice. And so I like rolling dice. So that's why there's dice in the in the box set. So anyway, we'll come back to the dice. The maps are all very clear in the book, and there's also going to be player facing maps. So these are, you can throw the maps down on the table. They're not like battle maps, like if you're doing a point crawl through the Shadespeare Mountains, each point will be an encounter, but it's not like a giant battle map. You know what I mean? And so that's kind of where the coins come in too, like as a way to mark where the players are in these maps. So the way I like to play is, when you need a map, and I think some of these locations are complicated enough that they deserve maps. And so you can throw the map down on the table. The players can look at it and see how they want to explore. They're not going to know like what's going on exactly as they're exploring, but they'll get to like make decisions, and it'll help the GM kind of explain what's going on, all of that. And then you can use the coin to sort of mark where the players are, and you can use the silver coin to mark maybe where the enemy is if it's somewhere else that the players know of. And that's kind of how I like to play. So that's how the maps are presented, more as like a visual reference resource than like a battle map kind of situation. Then there's the GM screen. This is here. Let me grab it. So right now, this is some of the green is disappearing. The Emperor of Worms is disappearing a little bit there, but and the frog guy. I mean, I think I'm pretty safe to say. What are we at here? 17,000. Dang. It's so cool how it ticks it up. Awesome. So real quick, we'll scroll down. The second stretch goal is to upgrade the GM screen. So where's my box? Hold on. There. Hold on 1 second. Since we're talking about the box set, let me grab the actual Chen. Thank you. Just pick the book. Okay, I've kind of been going on, so I'm gonna read chat a little bit. I think we might fully fund before the stream is over. Dang, man. We got 4 minutes I'm getting ahead of myself here. To make it in an hour. That is insane. This is crazy. This is crazy, you guys. Wow. Wow. Okay. So okay, let me check up on chat here. Ricky. Yeah, hey, good luck on your Kickstarter too. You usually home print a map. Yeah, I'm definitely a like quick draw out a map on grid paper kind of. Like if there's a little bit of confusion about the layouts, like bust out some grid paper, draw it really quick. That's kind of how I roll. And so these maps are good because you can just throw, if there's any confusion, you can just throw the map down and say, this is where you are. It kind of gives like the feel a little bit, so it takes a little bit of the explaining load off of the GM. Can we get PDF copies of the maps for running this online using VTTs? Yep. Yeah. Also, like the big printed maps, the 11x17 printed maps are all player facing. Some of that means it's exactly the same as what's in the book. But there will be, there'll be, screen resolution versions of all of the player-facing maps saved as individual files that come with the PDF, so you can drop them straight into your VTT. Yeah, that's definitely part of it. Oh my god! So, dude, I get. The way the chat works on YouTube is so weird because it kind of stops, and I think it's stopped, and then when I like go to scroll down, it's like, and I was like, oh man, I'm really far behind. Okay. Bum 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 bum. Yeah, I love Kyle's quote about his mom was psyched on Dragon Town. Would love to hear more about the map making add-ons. Yeah. Okay, we'll get to the add-ons. Thank you, Adam. That's very, very cool. Okay, yeah. So the GM screen, the scrolling. This is like all I've been doing is mouse wheeling up and down this page. So the $30,000 stretch goal is to upgrade the GM screen to it's like paper wrapped around board. So it's the same size, but it's like it's basically like a board game board. So it's sturdy. It's very sturdy. Still folds down exactly the same. If you look closely at the artwork for the GM screen, you might notice that like the panels are like a little separated, and that was just so I could design for, these. It's like a little bit of extra space. All of the panels are that same 5.5 by 8.5. But with this like paper over board GM screen, there's this little bit of extra space in here that I need to account for, and so like that space is like for a little bit of wiggle room design wise. That's just, so it like folds down super nicely, and it's like everything. It's the same size as the book. By the way, this is just a sample. I don't know if I said that. That's why it's this blank, just a sample from the manufacturer or whatever. But same size as the book, so it all fits super nice into the box, and we'll come back to the box. But the rest of the stuff in the box, scroll back up here. We talked about the coins, so the magic items and the dice. So okay, in the book, these magic items in the book, there are I think there's actually 80 something magic items, which is a lot. In fact, I think there might be 88 magic items, and I'm doing 44 cards. There's actually going to be 52 cards, but 8 of them are going to be blank. So you can write in, because look, if you play through this entire campaign with, well, let's go high and say you have 6 players, right? By the end of the campaign, why did I choose 6? Let's say you have 5 players. I told you I hate math. By the end of the campaign, if they each have 10 magic items, that's 50 cards. Like, that's an absurd amount, right? Like, I just don't think that will happen. So, there's basically, in some of the chapters, there's a few like shops that have kind of more like in-world useful item type things, and some of the shops will not be a part of the item cards, but you will have blank versions. So if somebody buys something from these shops, you can just fill it in, draw it in yourself. The paper is going to be so you can just draw right on it. It's not like it's not like traditional playing card paper. So it's meant for you to draw on it. If you want to make up your own item cards, it'll have the dragon on the treasure chest on the back, and then it'll be blank on the front. So there's going to be 8 of those, and then the 44 other items are all items that like are the ones, some of the shops, and then the ones that like appear in kind of in the world, like the ones that your players will really be getting. So like at the end of exploring the Windsong Woods, there's this magical sword that you can be awarded, and so that's kind of like a big deal item. So the King's Claw is definitely going to be one of the item cards. I hope that makes sense and sort of like explains where my head's at with the item cards. So there's going to be 52, 44 actual cards, 8 blank for you to fill in or make your own. And yeah, I just think giving out cards when somebody like let's say you spend 2 sessions exploring the Windsong Woods, and your players like do all this stuff. There's this giant like talking tree. It's very Zelda inspired, and you get this King's Claw, you get the Master Sword, and it's a cool moment. And then to be able to like from behind your GM screen, you're like, you did it, and you hand them the King's Claw. It's like, it's such a cool feeling. I love it so much. So that's why I wanted these magic item cards to be a part of it. Just because, just for that feeling. And then, you hand the player the card. They're all excited. They're looking at it like, oh, what does it like actually do? And then everybody else around the table is like, let me see. And then, it's like, or if they get an item and, however the situation works out, and one of the players gets to hand an item that they have like in their inventory to another player to help, like, just love it. It's a little thing, but it's like so nice. That's my idea behind the magic item cards. Okay, let's see here. Sorry if I'm missing stuff. Yeah, GM screen, like the cover of a hardbound book. I mean, yeah, it's yeah, I guess similar to the cover, actually exactly like the cover of the hardcover book. It's the same like book board. It's the same cardboard in the middle, and it's the same paper that wraps around it. So it will be, yeah, it'll be very similar, like basically exactly the same as the hardcover book. Um, I guess that's something to mention as well. I am everywhere I can. So the book, the the maps, everything that's not an add-on. Maybe I can with the zines as well. I think now they offer recycled paper, which is different. I'm gonna look into that. But basically, all of all of the paper components of the box set are going to be. It's called FSC paper. I'm blanking on what that stands for, but basically, it's like responsibly renewed foresting to make paper. So it's like they're not cutting down they're not deforesting, they're not cutting down new trees. It's like they're, it's not technically recycled. It's just like responsibly done. It's kind of like the standard way of like being good about using paper. And so that's part of. I'm still learning about it, but I wanted to, since this is kind of like a bigger thing than the zines, I wanted to be a little bit more responsible about paper choices, and so that's part of it. So the GM screen, the book, the magic item cards, the posters, any of the like postcard stretch goals, those will all be the FSC paper. Okay, let me catch up here a little bit. May I ask what manufacturer printer you're using for the GM screen? I am using the printer Asia Pacific. So I was recommended this printer by multiple people and have been talking with Alex at Asia Pacific, and he has been extremely helpful trying to explain some of this some of this paper stuff to me and get all of these components and stuff figured out. So far it's been really good. Will there be any way to get the deck of magic items after the campaign on their own somehow? I think one thing I haven't decided on, that's interesting. I haven't really considered that. So kind of after, not to get ahead of ourselves here, the campaign kind of wraps up, it'll go into backer kit mode. And so like if there's like extra, if you want 2 books or you know, that kind of thing, I don't know if breaking out the components of the box set will be part of that. I don't know. I don't know yet. I don't think so. I don't know. I need to think about that one. Boo. It'd be a shame if one of the magic items was eaten by a hungry little void spawn or something. Yeah. And then you get to take the magic item back from the point. Yes. I saw a video of you and Sam and it all came together. Yes. I'm a part of the Revive. I'm Revive crew. So my office, which I'm not in right now, I'm at home right now, but my office with the big grid illustrated background is right in between Andy and Brian. So I'm like my office is like separating those two. Oh gosh. Okay. Daybreaker, thank you. 15 days to go on yours. Good luck. Yes, you got it. Um, Giving out cards. Yep. Yeah. Oh yeah. There will be uh, um, a PDF. Yeah, that's probably the way to do it. Yeah, PDF, so you can print your own cards. And it'll probably be. It'll probably be. Excuse me. It'll probably be a version that is just the like magic item um, part, and there'll be another PDF that's like the 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 dragon on the treasure chest artwork and the magic items, so you can like fold them, cut them out, fold them in half, glue them together, and like make a sturdy card. So there'll probably be two versions like that, I think. So like if you don't want to print, if you're printing out 44 of these, I understand that some people might not want the colorful back artwork, so there'll be a version without. Flirting with 18K. Oh boy. Oh no, we're not flirting. 205 backers. This is incredible. Wow. Whenever I say something, it just goes up. 206 backers. Oh man. Yeah, they didn't chop down the Windsong Woods to make these books. Oh, you can see who's backed what? Oh, I need to like I need to refresh maybe. Let me I was like 0 people backed the F11 13 digital 60. Wow, dude. Wow. Wow. Almost double. 5. Crazy, man. Crazy. Whew. Will the book come with my autograph? Oh, man. I don't know. I don't know. Is that something people really want? That's kind of where my head is at. But I guess if you're asking, then I guess I don't know. I don't know. um, I don't want to assume and then sign every. I guess I just don't know the logistics of. Maybe there is a way not to. So a big part of this campaign is learning. A big reason I wanted to do all this is kind of like learning what I can handle in terms of a project of a bigger scale, right? So this is a little bit bigger than than doing a zine, right? I feel like I have a really good handle of making a zine every month. So I want to see what it's like to do a bigger project. And, maybe I should have started with just the book, but I just really wanted to do the box set. So we've jumped up to the box set, and I'm learning about all of that stuff too, right? And so part of this learning how to handle all this stuff, a big part of it is the fulfillment. And so, we're gonna see. I've been on the other end, so I like know how it works. I've talked to some people at BackerKit. It's gonna be an interesting experience. Um, but I don't like really know the details of like, I guess I've never experienced the back end from a fulfillment point of view. So I've had people explain it to me. I know the idea, but I've never like done it, right? And so part of it is going through this backer kit fulfillment experience. And so maybe, and I've been very um, I've been very careful. Part of the reason all the add-ons are these bundles is because if I was just offering 28 add-on zines, it could be very, very overwhelming when we get to fulfillment. But by doing the bundles, I'm able to sort of like, it's a whole thing, right? But maybe there's a way in the backer kit back end. And the reason I'm hesitating is because I don't, like I'm saying, I've never been through this and don't know exactly. But maybe there's a way to have like one of the, when you fill out the questionnaire, it's like, would you like a signed book or something? I don't know if that is how it will work. In my head, that seems like the solution in this moment. So that's a possibility. But maybe we'll figure out different solutions. I'm not gonna charge $40 for it. Yeah, but then also like if depending on how this goes, um, like right now, signing 200 books is a thing that seems possible to me. But yeah, but we're not even an hour and a half in, so depending on where this goes, and this is what's blowing my mind, saying that like this might get to a scale where it just isn't possible, because there is a point where me signing books, this like feels insane saying this out loud, but like there's a point where me signing books takes away from making the coolest zine on Patreon, and getting all of this stuff out to people as quickly as possible, which is my real goal. So I'm trying to explain where I'm at, how that's kind of how I'm thinking in the moment. I if in the perfect world, I would love to like do a little drawing and sign every book. I don't know if it's possible yet. I don't know. Yeah, Ricky, signed book plates as a stretch goal. That's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. Um, yeah, and if this thing pops off and we need more stretch goals, that could be one. Um, Thanks, Brandon. Yeah, dude, this is insane. Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yeah. JC has a good point. I won't be able to open the box sets and reclose them to sign the books. That is something I was not thinking about. The book plates might be the way. Um, do your guitar hand stretches? Yeah, I do. I do drawing stretches. After big days of drawing. So like the good one is like you put your palms together and you try and like lower it as low as you can, and then you do the like this one, kind of get that wrist stretched out, and then you do it's kind of hard to show in the zoomed in camera. This I'm like not doing this properly to get it in, but you like take your thumb and you pull it back. You want to like keep your arms straight when you do it. But yeah, keep those hands Keep those hands shook out. 4,000 might be too many to sign. Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah, I only need to sign sign Pastelukes. Yeah, hey, if you ever see me in real life, like at Gen Con or anything, and you like, absolutely, I will sign stuff. Yeah, I'll do a little drawing and whatever you want. Um, does the box set include PDFs? Yes, 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 yes. So basically, every tier that you go up, you get everything that the tier below gets. So if if you just want the PDF and you get the PDF, that's what you get with all the digital stuff. If you just get the book, you get the book and all the book stuff, and then you also get the PDF and all the PDFs, digital stuff. Oh my gosh, we're off like 1,000 away. Yeah, the little thanks squares. That might be that might be part of something like that. Might be part of it. $1,000 add-on to for me to run the game. Yeah, I actually thought about that as one. The 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 logistics of that is like a little complicated, and sorry, one sec here. Ooh. And I'm actually not a very good DM. Like I don't think it's like that that special of a thing. Whoa, there, hair. Whoa, it's like really going. What happened? Um, yeah, so I don't know if that like if somebody paid that much money to have me GM for them, I don't it's not worth it. It's not worth it. um who's going to be the lucky one? Wow. Well, thanks, Brandon. Yeah. But I appreciate that. um, I don't know if I'm $1,000 GM. That's I don't know about that. Okay, so let's talk. Let's see. We talked about all the components. Oh, we didn't talk about the dice. So I mentioned this a little bit in the box set video, but the dice are so basically I looked into doing like really fancy resin dice. Like let's make this like special dice set, and doing all this research and molds and like I reached out to a couple of different people to get their advice on things. Actually, Runehammer sent me his awesome dice set, and yeah, just did all this research, and basically what it came down to is I spent a lot of time thinking about dice, and I can show you my little tray here. So I have my Cintiq where I draw. I have my second monitor in front of me here where I keep all the extra stuff, and then my camera, my webcam up here, and then under my Cintiq I have my little dice tray. And if you sorry if that was really loud. If you look in here, the dice that I go to, and I have some like really cool fancy dice. Like JC got me for the last campaign I was in. I was using these fancy dice that had like little skulls inside of them and stuff. So I like a fancy dice, but I kind of realized that as I honestly think that these red dice that are in here are the dice from the official D&D starter set. And I got these great D6s. Let me get these that are just like like they're yellow, pink, and black, and their numbers are all big on them, and they're just super clear, like standard dice. And that's what I reach for. The acrylic, they like roll perfectly. They're super like legible and visual, and my hair, something happened to my hair. I need to take a shower and wash my hair. And so like, yeah, I got distracted by my hair. Basically, I decided that what I really wanted were like these standard, clear, fun to roll dice. And so that's what I'm doing. I'm making acrylic. So the idea is I'm getting to choose the colors, and I want the numbers to be like big and clear, easy to read, and the colors are the red on the book, which is supposed to be like the apple red color, and then the numbers aren't going to be white; they're going to be like a little bit off white, like the inside of an apple. So the idea is they're like little magic apple dice, and yeah, that's the kind of dice I wanted to make. So we got the magic apple dice. Oh boy, getting there. Yeah. Yes. Okay. And then the last thing is the actual box. So the box, the initial box I got, fits everything and has this cool insert, and it's kind of tall, so it's like a little, like the book fits in, and then there's like this little extra space at the top. I can show you but this isn't how it's going to be, I don't think. So I'm basically reworking the box with the manufacturer to like fit everything. So it's like when I added the magic item cards, that kind of changed things. So the box is going to be a different size, but basically there's going to be an insert in the box, and this is, just like the box is not printed, this insert isn't printed as well, but there's going to be a printed insert in the box, and yeah, it's just going to be like a cool box to keep everything in, and everything's going to like go in super good. And yeah, so that's kind of like the outstanding thing at the moment, is getting this box put together so it fits everything just right. It's kind of like what I'm still working on. How do you sign up? Okay, let me yeah, I should be posting the link here. Let me give you this link. Hopefully that works as a link. Yeah. That's how you get to the Kickstarter page, by the way. Hadn't done that yet. Yeah, so I think that covers that covers the box set. We're getting really close. This is just ridiculous. Wingus Ryu. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I wasn't sure. I get nervous about putting an exact time on things. So I was kind of like, or it's it's around noon. My intention was to like launch it at noon, and that's what happened. I just get kind of nervous about um, technical problems and all that. Yeah. Anyway, any extra room in the box for some zines if we add it on? Ooh, that's something I actually hadn't considered. The zines are the same size. The problem is if you want to add 2 zines, that'll probably fit. If you want to add 28 zines, that definitely will not fit. So yeah. Had a lot of people request add-on. Yeah, so I guess I'm still trying to figure out the logistics of like what is an add-on and what isn't. I know additional books will be like when I say add-on, I mean like on the backer kit back end when you put in your shipping information and all of that stuff. It's like what that stuff. This is the stuff that'll like kind of come later. Haven't really nailed that down yet. Perils and Princesses will be a great, like, fantastic game to run this with. Dragonbane, Easy D6, OSE, all super easy to, yeah. Add-on for an empty box. We'll think about it. Yeah, see how it goes. An even 100. Draw Steel. Yeah, Draw Steel will be I actually got to play Draw Steel at Gen Con. I intended to do a little video talking about it, but I kind of got swept up in all of this. But yeah, Draw Steel would be cool. I think it's a different kind of game. There would be some conversion stuff that would happen for sure with Draw Steel. Character sheet add-on or stretch goal. Yeah, it's just an adventure, so it's kind of up to you what like what we're talking about here, what game you want to run with it. I wouldn't know like what game to make character sheets for. Tiny Dungeon, perfect. Another one of those perfect. Perfect systems to run. Nimble, another perfect. Nimble's great. Nimble, I think, would be very easy. I tested it with Knave first edition. Yeah. Knave first edition and Five Torches Deep, which is very similar to Shadow Dark. So Shadow Dark would work great, which is similar, nimble. Um, it's close. It's close, you guys. Yeah. Um, Knave would be super cool, like with the item cards. Um, yeah, I'm partial to Tunnel Goons. um, yeah, Mouse Ritter would be really interesting. Into the odd Mouse Ritter Knave. Um, Black Hack. Yep, it happened. It happened. Wow. 1 hour, 38 minutes. I'm going to write this down so I don't forget. Man, this is incredible. this is crazy. I mean, thank you. Thank you all for showing up and yeah, a little speechless at the moment. Man, yeah. It was really cool. It was really cool. Let's see those stretch goals. Yeah. 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 So the I have some very cool stretch goals planned. Um, the the obvious ones are the postcard dungeons. So the way the stretch goals will work as things kind of unfold, I'll put more thought into like where the stretch goals happen and like what's a reasonable number and all of that stuff. Um, but right now it's like a postcard dungeon and then something else. Postcard dungeon, something else. I have 3 postcard dungeons planned. Um, and then the kind of in between stuff, and then even after that, there's more. There's like the big kind of surprise thing with Michael that we'll talk about very soon. That kind of like deserves its whole own thing. It's like that big of a thing. Um, Emerald, yeah, right on. You know, no pressure. I mean, I should also say that like part of this, part of this is well, okay, yeah. I'll actually talk numbers here. So the goal of 20,000, um, actually, my actual goal, um, to get the minimum number of um, like in printing and manufacturing you have minimums. So like a printer won't will say like you have to order this number for us to like rev up the press basically. So to get 1,000 hardcover books made and 1,000 box sets made, it's gonna cost. I mean, it's different, but it's basically I need $23,000 to like get the minimums, and so my actual my idea was if I make 20,000, I will put up the additional 3 to get the minimums printed, And what I would really like, because I like having things in print. That's part of the sort of archivist in me, I guess. Like I have every revived skateboard that I've ever designed stacked up down in the basement. I have a file of every zine. Actually, multiple copies of. I have at least 2 copies of every zine that's been made. Same for all the mini comics and stuff I've made before. I just keep. I don't know. I like to keep things so they exist, right? And like to be honest about all of this stuff. Like the this is an honest goal that we just hit, and my mind is going crazy. But it's to get these minimums made, and then where we go beyond that is all extra, right? But I want to have extra copies, so if you can't, um, you know, back the Kickstarter now, like don't worry. There will be copies that exist after, because that's something that's really important to me, and that's kind of like part of this too. All of that to explain that. Thanks, Michael. Will there be maps for the postcard dungeon? Like, yeah, there'll be digital versions of the postcards as well. Yep, yeah. So if you back at the digital tier, I'm not gonna mail postcards to you, but you'll get the digital version of the postcards. Um, so there are, as we go through stretch goals, there will be rewards that are, it'll say digital book or box set rewards. So like the second stretch goal is the upgrade to the GM screen. That's just for the box set. But yeah, and just sort of as we go, like it'll depend on what it is, but it should be listed on the little map, stretch goal map that we have going. What who will get the stretch goal. Um, Put in another 15 to 20 for an empty box for zine storage. Um, yeah, maybe that's a stretch goal. Um, it is an interesting idea. Thank you, Brian. This is insane. Um, yeah, this is crazy. I don't. I'm not using the words the best, but yeah, this is crazy. Yeah, yeah. There you will be able to get additional books. Um, I don't expect this to be like, because this is an adventure and not a game. Um, I didn't make it like uh, one of the regular rewards. Like if this was a game, like maybe it would be, if you want to order multiple books so that each person at the table has their own copy of the book. Um, but this isn't really a book that you want to share with your players. So, but you will be able to get multiple books if you want them. But that'll come later in the kind of like backer kit after the campaign portion. Um, yeah, thank you. Thanks, Kenneth. Yeah. I mean, I was hopeful. I didn't expect it to to be like this fast. I was kind of hoping like to hit on the first day. Like I was gonna be really happy if it was like funded in 24 hours kind of thing. But funded in 2 is nuts. Wow. Yeah. Yeah. Um, yeah. Okay. Let's see. Should I do a quick rundown of all of the add-ons? So, um, let's do that. I think I can be. I mean, who am I kidding? I'm like, I could be quick about this, but I'll probably get into it and start yapping. Anyway, let's talk about these add-ons, right? Um, so I kind of collected all of the zines into groups that like made the most sense. So this first collection is the Adventure Zine collection, and with this there are two one-shot adventures. So I feel like you could consider these the Temple of the Waking Thread and the Great Goblin Flight. Um, these are kind of like they could be considered extra chapters of the book. Um, so they're as far as adventures go, like laid out very similar to how the chapters in the books are. Um, the Waking Thread is a great adventure for, let's say, one of your players dies, and the other players want to find a way to resurrect them. Or maybe an important NPC dies, and they want, if you want to like resurrect somebody, but maybe you don't have access to like the kind of magic that can do that, then going on this quest through the Temple of the Waking Thread is a cool way to do that. The Great Goblin Flight is a fun. Just thinking about, so like the Great Goblin Flight is my design challenge for that one was to do a sort of random location. So it's this quarry. The goblins have this stone that this wizard wants, and you are sent there to retrieve the stone. And basically the idea for this one is if you need to travel a great distance quickly for some reason, you would go on this adventure. So the same way as resurrecting, like if you need to travel really far in the world, this is why you would take this job, to go see what these goblins are up to. This is also, and I don't know that anybody, like I said, I'm gonna go down this road here of explaining too much as I'm trying to like go over these add-ons quickly, but I really like this Great Goblin Flight zine. I'm not sure that anybody has really keyed into it, but this was released around the time that Wizards of the Coast sent Pinkertons to retrieve some magic cards from somebody that they sent the magic cards to. Oh my god, my nose. Woo. And I decided to use that as inspiration for an adventure. So the players are hired by the wizard Roshab, which if you rearrange those letters could spell Hasbro. To go retrieve this item from these goblins. And I mean, not to spoil it, but I'm kind of spoiling it, but the goblins are super cool and the wizard sucks. And so you kind of discover that on this adventure, and it's kind of my little comment about Wizards of the Coast, which I mean, it's my comment at that incident, let's say, on Wizards of the Coast. Okay, now I'm gonna move through these zines. Let me catch up on chat, and then I'll Josh, yes, just pledged for the box set. Was wondering if the zine add-on are physical and being shipped with it, or PDF only. So the any add-ons that we're going through right now, these zines, you will get the PDFs of the zines the same time you get the PDF of the book. in November, sometime there in November, you'll get the PDFs of everything, and then the zines will ship with your box set or your book, whatever you. So that'll happen later. Right now, I'm estimating June of next year as when I will have all of the components and be mailing them out to you. So of course that could change depending on stuff, but so yeah, zines will come. Physical zines will come with the rest of the physical rewards once they're made. The Iron Brouhaha became a big hit during our campaign this year. Yes. Okay, that leads in perfectly. So the bustling streets and unsavory alleyways and the perilous passage are basically collections of 12 different encounters. So the perilous passage are like 12 encounters that would happen like as you're exploring the wilderness, and the bustling streets and unsavory alleyways are encounters that would happen while you're exploring a city or a town. And so the Iron Brouhaha is from Perilous Passage. And this, like, Perilous Passage would be great. Like, oh, your players are leaving Dragontown or coming to Dragontown, and I need something to spice up the road trip, right? So the Iron Brouhaha is these goblins that basically they just like run around in this big mass, they're like a big gang of goblins, and they just they're all like heavily armored, and they just like bang into each other, and they kind of like anybody they come across, they just like rugby crash into them, and they try and like rip away, if you have any armor, they try and like rip away whatever armor you have, and they like make a big circle and put the armor in the middle, and they all just run in and crash into each other trying to grab armor pieces that they can then stick on to themselves and like upgrade their armor. Yeah, so that's the Iron Brouhaha. It's just like this like a cool random encounter that can happen. I think you're the first person, Chris, that has mentioned having fun with the Iron Brouhaha. That's one of my favorites from that Perils and Passage. Yeah, Roshab is a big dork. Yeah, man. Perils and Passages, Gloomtide is one of my favorite encounters. Yeah, the Gloomtide. So another big thing with these zines is I try and sneak in a little bit of world building. And I mean, this is like all, big time, all in Dragontown. And actually a lot of the, I mentioned earlier, a lot of the like little revisions and like things to connect the adventures a little bit better and expand on Dragontown is to do some world building. And so I have like, I actually don't have a name for it, but I have my world, all the kind of typical things. And I guess I don't really talk about it that much because I don't I just kind of assume that people running D&D and running these fantasy games like kind of have their own world and their own outlook on the way things work and like their style of things. And sorry for my squeaky chair. And so I kind of don't talk about this much, but I am like that, and so I have all those ideas, and so when I make this stuff, I make it to fit into my world, my fantasy world. But I'm not like, I wouldn't say I'm like the typical, like, I don't have some like 500-page document that details everything. It's like I'm building it slowly. And so when I make one of these zines, I'm kind of adding to the world and stuff a little bit, each time, right? And I have my ideas. Like I have my ideas about how goblins work, what goblins are kind of all about. And there are a bunch of different, the Great Goblin Flight, though that gang of goblins is different than the goblins that are the Iron Brouhaha and stuff. But I kind of, I have, actually I expanded in Dragontown. In the comic, I made a little map and talked about the Troll Bog and the Sage Lakes a little bit. So those are like some locations that are I have ideas for that will be added to the world. And so yeah, the Gloomtide, which is another edition that came along in the Perilous Passage and then is explored a little bit more in the Waking Thread, is like my underworld, or I shouldn't say underworld, but like my when you die in this fantasy world, that's where your spirit goes, I guess. That's my, yeah, the Gloomtide. Whoa. Let's get this light fixed up here. So yeah. Hopefully that sounds cool. Okay, yeah, moving through these add-ons real fast. Okay, the next collection is the Mapmaker collection, and these are like my most popular zines, and I think they're really cool because I think what do I think? I'm thinking too many things at once. I think that you don't have to be an artist or an illustrator to draw really cool fantasy maps. And I think if you want to start drawing, if you're interested in drawing, but haven't made the leap, or you haven't drawn since you were a kid, or any of that stuff, drawing maps is a fantastic place to start. If you've watched my YouTube videos, it's the thing I say over and over again. It's like if you can write the alphabet, you can draw these maps, and these 4 zines are kind of all about that, and we'll teach you the step-by-step of drawing maps. Yeah, so I'm really proud of these zines because I think they're simple, they're straightforward, they're meant to get you into drawing quickly, and see the results of your drawing quickly. And I think that's super cool. The same, so I've been in like real heavy promotion mode, talking about my own stuff and promoting this book and this adventure and everything. But I think, and hopefully as I go on, I can maybe like, use this process as an example of like how to encourage other people to do this thing, because that's really what I, like consider my mission, is to like encourage other people, encourage you all to make this stuff too. And maybe that's why, I was just talking about like how I don't talk about my world and stuff, is like all of that stuff's there because that's what I think is fun and cool. But like, really, I would want to encourage you to like spend the time to make your own, world and fill it up with stuff that you think is cool, right? And maybe Dragontown fits in there somewhere as a fun thing, and that would be cool. But yeah, yeah. Hopefully all of that makes sense. I just really want to encourage people to make stuff because it's the same. It's the same. It's the same thing. Earlier I was talking about handing magic item cards to people, and like if you're a GM and your players just went on this big quest and they get this cool item and you get to hand them the magic card, right? And that feeling is super cool. Take that feeling and multiply it times 100 if you hand them, or if you lay out your own hand-drawn map, and you invite your players into your own world and they're excited and you're excited. Like it is literally the best feeling, and that's what I want to encourage. And so this map maker zine is to help with that, because I do think it's easy to go pull a map off the internet that looks really cool, and you can print it out and throw it down on the table or put it up on the VTT. I mean, I'm literally filling this thing with cool maps that you can do that with, but it is much cooler if you draw them yourself. And the logistically, I know that there's not time to do that all of the time. Like it's the practicality of that, I understand, but the reward that you get from putting in the time, and this map maker collection of zines hopefully makes it clear that it's not that much time. It really isn't that much time, and it's not this. There's not this crazy skill barrier to it. And yeah, I'm just really proud of these zines, and I think that everybody should draw their own maps. Yeah. So even though I'm trying to like sell a box set or whatever that's filled with maps, like I think people should draw their own maps. Am I doing this alone? Pretty much. Michael is helping me get organized and handle some stuff. But pretty much right now the plan is to do the fulfillment myself. There is a kind of like backup thing, like if it, we'll see how this goes, and if it gets to a point where it's not actually sustainable for me, there is a backup plan in place. But yeah, that's the plan right now. Yeah, thank you, Daybreaker. Jimmy Shelter. Right on. Thank you, dude. Roll for Combat's willing to help. Yeah, I got my plan all like figured out, so map making videos have been super helpful. Thank you. Yeah, I it's like get the backup plan ready. Oh my god, yeah. 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 We might be going to the backup plan. How long am I staying on? I mean, a little bit longer. I want to go through these add-ons and talk. Yeah, so European shipping partner, that is an option. So that is part of the plan that has not been worked out yet. Cause that's like talking with people and like making agreements, and And so there's like the logistical side of that. That's not just like a little conversation that I've had with someone. So that is, and I think now that numbers are starting to happen, that will be a thing. Conversations will start to happen with that. Yeah. Gridlock, yes. Yeah, so we'll cover shipping stuff momentarily. Yeah, I might hit you up for that. Yeah. Um, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, Magic Item Zine Collection. This is I think there's like, yeah, over 80 additional magic items. So there's a lot in the Dragontown book, but if that's not enough and you need more, these two zines add a bunch. So Unscrupulous Emporiums is are there 3 or 4? I can't remember. Let me. Oh, I don't think I had it in here. I don't have that one right next to me, but 3. I think there's 3. There's 3 basically magic item shops that are kind of like, how did these people actually come about their wares? Is the premise behind Unscrupulous Emporium. So a lot of cool magic items that might have been acquired in. There's 4. Okay, I can remember 3. And yeah, there's a lot of fun magic items in this one. And the Miraculous Markets are all like kind of food themed items. So there's 4. Or is there 5? Am I getting my numbers like mixed up here? So Miraculous Markets, yeah, it's all like food themed stuff, right? So, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, so four different like food magic item vendors. And the cool thing about food, or like, oh, I'm blanking on the word. They're like, they're single use magic items. So like once you eat it, it's gone, right? So it can be like a little bit more powerful but some of these, like some of the items in here are like really powerful, but they have a drawback too. So I don't know. There's a lot of cool magic items. I always have a lot of fun making these collections of consumable. Thank you. Yes. Hey, Jason. Thanks, dude. Thanks, man. Glad you're here. Pretty sure the stream goes until I reach 100. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, well, hold on a second. Wait a minute. I mean, this is just so if it took us 2 hours to get to 20, what is that, an 8-hour stream? Could I do an 8-hour stream? And I don't think that's quite how it works, but no, we're not doing that. But that idea is awesome. Yeah, this is bonkers, man. This is bonkers. Okay. Add-ons. Okay. Dragons and the weirdos, little weirdos. These are like more NPCs. So like magic items, you need more items. Dragons, you need more NPCs. So the dragons book is there's 12 dragons, and it's kind of set up like a little bit of story, a little bit of background, little bit of plot hook, like how you can bring these dragons into your game, and a little bit of like where it can go from there. So 12, I just love dragons. Talked about it before, and like anything that has a dragon in it, I'm kind of down down with it. Like even if it sucks, if the dragon's cool, I just kind of like it. So yeah, there's a bunch more dragons. Excuse me. And then the little weirdos, same thing but opposite. So like Flick Silverpin's a little halfling guy. I like to play goblin. You know, Lord of the Rings. Like my favorite stories are like the little underestimated people that get to like become these big grand heroes, and making this book of little weirdos. I think there's 25 little guys in there that are just weird NPCs that you can throw in there that are, if you're as a GM, I love giving out cool magic items. I love interesting locations that like surprise my players, and I love pretending to be little weird guys. that's my GM style right there. And so yeah, little weirdos. There's just a bunch of fun weird, and again, this is like a little bit of backstory, a little bit of plot hooks. Um, yeah, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's some math I don't want to think about, Michael. um, right on gridlock. That's what I hear. That's what I hear. Um, and we're funded. This is nuts. This is nuts. Okay, the Monster Maker collection. This one is Mad Morven's Guide to Making Monsters. Mad Morven is this little hobgoblin dude that took over zine making duties from Flick Silverpin and made this. It's basically like a bunch of random tables that you can roll on. I don't like to say that it's just a book of random tables, because that it's also a procedure, right, for creating your own unique monster. So like the procedure is to roll on these random tables and ask yourself questions and kind of brainstorm and do all of that. But it's basically a book that if you want to make a unique monster, you can just use this book, and it's super easy. It's super fast. You get like really unique monsters that sort of like do the it was kind of my process for making these little weirdo characters. Is like you kind of get a backstory, what the monster cares about, what kind of weaknesses and abilities the monster has. I think it's really fun just to like every once in a while I'll pop open this one and just spend a couple minutes rolling up a monster really quick. And then there's Flick Silverpin's Guide to Drawing Monsters. So the same as the map making guides, this takes you through the steps of not knowing how to draw to being able to draw your own monster. And so I think this is a good combo. Like you can make your own unique monster and then like learn how to draw it. And the steps are really easy, and so basically when it comes down to drawing, I think what people get hung up on is like you're supposed to go from nothing to this finished drawing, and what this Drawing Monsters book will kind of run you through is that's not really how drawing works. So it'll help you like basically build your monster as a drawing. So it's almost like building Lego, or might not be like the best one-to-one example, but yeah, it's a process where you start really simple with like, the whole alphabet thing. Like if you can write the alphabet, you can like draw these simple shapes and combine them, and then you slowly like build it up, and it just takes you through the whole process and makes it manageable. um Hello from France, 8 p.m. um um yeah, it is expensive, and I hate how expensive it is to ship things from the US to anywhere else. We'll talk about that in a second. um, as we get through these. We'll talk about shipping. um, yeah, there will be more. There will be more digital rewards, for sure, as stretch goal things happen. Yeah, there's going to be more digital stuff. Um, Honestly, if you're just in it for the digital, the best way to get all of these add-on zines is to join my Patreon. Because everything, obviously the Dragontown book and all of that stuff is not on the Patreon, but all of these add-on zines are on the Patreon digitally. You can get access to them right now. Um, yeah, don't, yeah, don't, yeah. I'll be quick about the shipping. I do want to address it and explain, like I've been doing, explain where my head's at, where I'm coming from, the practicalities of it and everything. Um, we'll get there. We'll get there. Okay, now we get into, well, okay, Asterlin Odyssey is its own standalone adventure. So maybe, actually, now that I think about it, it could easily add on. You could easily add on some of this stuff to a Dragontown adventure. So Asterlin Odyssey is inspired by old Dragon Quest and Final Fantasy, like the old Nintendo, the NES games. So like the story is intentionally straightforward. There's an evil wizard. He's summoning monsters. He wants to take over the world, right? And this is a campaign about you trying to stop the evil wizard from taking over the world. So the first book is kind of the backstory, a way to get your characters kind of like as a group. There's like a group backstory, background kind of scenario thing that gets everybody like into the adventure. And then there's like the random encounters. You're walking around the world, exploring the world, and the screen flashes and you're in a random encounter, right? The second book is all of the locations around the map. So there's a bunch of towns that you can visit and a bunch of dungeons you can visit. Think classic NES RPG, right? So there's a harbor town, there's a town in the woods, there's a magic town, there's an abandoned like ghost town, and then there's a bunch of dungeon places. There's the Cave of Fear, and there's a water temple and a volcano dungeon. So the second book is all the locations, and then the third book is like the monster book. So it's like all of the, when you have a random encounter and you need to pull up, what do the slimes do? What do the Borblins do? It's all the monsters and stuff. Everything's pixel art. So it feels very nostalgic in that way. And yeah, I think it's a really fun kind of classic feeling campaign that can be totally separate. But now that I'm thinking about it, like you could totally add the water temple or any of the monsters and stuff into a Dragon Town adventure like really easily. Um, then we got Goons and Ghosts. This is my Ghostbusters inspired hack of Tunnel Goons by Nate Tremay. It's basically, I mean, I think at this point it's safe to say it's my favorite role playing game system. It's very, very rules light. And what I love so much about it is that your character sheet and everything about your character kind of boils down to you have 3 stats, so that's part of it. But then you also have like your background and your equipment and your like profession. So with Goons and Ghosts, you have gadgets. So your inventory is gadgets. So you might have like a PKE meter, right? And the PKE meter doesn't have any mechanics attached to it. And your profession, you might have been an accountant or a psychic or somebody before you became this paranormal exterminator, right? And so that's what you have on your character sheet. You have your PKE meter. You have like if you were a psychic before, you might have like a crystal ball or something. And basically really simple. So like anytime you are in a situation, there's this ghost over here, and you might decide, okay, I want to use my PKE meter to see what this ghost is all about, or I want to use my crystal ball to try and communicate with the ghost. And instead of like having all these mechanics and stuff tied to these items and your stats and everything, you just like add +1 to your roll, and it like just works in the fiction. You like stay in the fiction of the game much more than these like mechanical elements that kind of like can sometimes pull you out of the game. You still get the really nice thing of like having the things on your character sheet that make your character unique and interesting. And you can, if you don't know what you want to do in a situation, you still can fall back on your character sheet a little bit. But falling back on your character sheet, you see these things and it makes you think about how you would use them in the process of what's like going on in the world. And it works so easily, so perfectly. Tunnel Goons is awesome. And the reason I made a Ghostbusters inspired version of it is because what's the best way to explain this? So I mean, I love Ghostbusters. There's that part of it, and I wanted to sort of play in that world. And this is a reason I also love fantasy stuff. It's because it's kind of like its own language, right? So if you're playing this Ghostbusters inspired game around a table, and you're the GM, you have players, they've all seen Ghostbusters, they know what the deal is, they know there's like a common language that you all share. So it's like you don't even have to say it as a GM. You know, excuse me. You know it's set in the real world, but there's all this paranormal stuff that's happening, and like fantastical things can happen in this story. You've all agreed to this kind of premise, and you can just go. You don't have to waste time kind of like talking about that stuff, right? So like the Nostalgia Prophet, the yellow adventure here takes place in a mall, and it's just like everybody knows what a mall that looks like that was built in the 90s. You know what that looks like. You've walked through that, so you don't even have to spend time explaining all of that stuff. You can just jump in and start telling the story. And there's something really nice about having a backdrop that everybody understands right away. And you don't have to like, you can have fun being in that world, and you don't have to spend a lot of time like catching people up, catching the players up to, what is happening in the adventure. You can just go on the adventure. So that's why Goons and Ghosts. And then the next one, Teenage Mutant Tunnel Goons. My nose is still itching, man. Woo. Same thing. Love. As a kid, I played with those Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle action figures, man. That's like I'm an only child. A lot of time spent. I mean, it's about to sound sad, but it wasn't. A lot of time spent alone imagining, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle adventures. And I had, like I said, only child, like maybe was a little bit spoiled, but I was a little bit spoiled. But I had the Ghostbusters, firehouse tower thing, and I had the Ninja Turtles sewer play set, and that was like my main setup. Were those two? Those were my that was my little street, right? That all the adventures happened on. And so yeah, like it just, I mean, that should make sense why these these two games exist, right? Teenage Mutant Tunnel Goons. I really, really love these two zines. So there's the rule book, which has like everything you need to play. Like I said, Tunnel Goons. It's so easy to learn. Like there is not an easier system to learn. And there's there's team building stuff that happens. So you make characters really quick. You build a team really quick in both of these games. You're a team of ghost hunters. You're a team of mutant teenagers that are hanging out together. And then in the there's some like GM advice and stuff, and adventure building stuff in the back of the Teenage Mutant Tunnel Goons. And then there's also this Outbreak of the Animoids adventure, which is there's a cockroach from the future that comes, the mutated cockroach from the future that comes back in time and is equipping all of the animals at the zoo. This one's based on the Cincinnati Zoo. I really love the Cincinnati Zoo. So it's like kind of based on our zoo here. And this cockroach has come back and equipping all of the animals there with like future technology. And they're like, some of them are kind of going crazy, and they're going to like start rising up against the humans. And I really love this adventure. Yeah, I think it's just super fun. And the kind of experiment I did with these two zines is everything is drawn by hand, so not on the computer. So I got a big old stack of paper and a pencil, and then I used the trusty Pilot G2 pen, the one of the best pens ever. And just drew everything and then scanned it in and colored it on the computer. But everything on these two zines is drawn by hand, which is a super fun process. So, okay. All right, it seems like we're gonna get to shipping here. So, last one is Starborg. I just made these 4 zines. These are like my most recent zines that I made in collaboration with Kyle from MapCrow. He wrote the first 2 zines, so the the Rebel Handbook is like the player handbook. It has all the player classes and all the like core rules and stuff. And then there's the GM guide that has all of the stuff that you need, all of the like enemy stats and everything. And the oh yeah, this is, I should mention, this is a Star Wars inspired hack of Morkborg. So a little bit more complicated of a system, but calling it a complicated system at all is not accurate. It's, I would still consider it very rules light and easy to use. If you've played D&D, like very easy to run a Morkborg game. It's basically the same. There's a couple of like key differences, like you're not like rolling AC stuff. Like the players roll to dodge instead of the GM rolling to hit. So like a couple of little things like that are different, that like keep the game moving really fast, really fast moving, very deadly, dangerous game. And the idea is you're playing rebels going up against the Legion, the all expanding, powerful Legion, which is our version of the Empire. And you know, the idea is like it's dangerous. It's really dangerous to like go on these crazy adventures. And so like rebels are probably gonna die. Especially if they like try and get into a laser fight with a dragoon, which is like the kind of inquisitor style, hunting the force sensitive ish Jedi hunter kind of people. We call them dragoons. Or you're just a little rebel with a blaster and there's some giant war machine. You can't just run up to it. You're going to get stomped on, right? So it's that style of game. There's the player handbook, the rebel handbook, the GM guide, and then we have solo rules, which are really, really cool. If you want to play the game solo, which these were done by Perplexing Ruins, and really, really fun version of if you want to play Starborg alone and just kind of write out your adventure, it's super, super fun. And then I guess I should say I did the layout and all of the illustration in these zines, and then wrote and drew and did everything for the Legion's foils. So this is like the starter adventure for Starborg, and this is a like a really fun, easy way to kick off an adventure. It's great for the GM to kind of learn what a Starborg adventure is like, and kind of get their players into it and like see if you like it, and then you can kind of take it from there. So it's a dungeon that was designed, an adventure that was a kind of one-shot adventure that was designed to kind of teach the GM how to run it, but also teach the players how to play. Starting adventure kind of thing. Okay. Let me catch up on chat, and then we'll talk about shipping stuff. Yeah. Advanced Tunnel Goons is excellent. Yeah, I actually just got that recently, and it's real good. Dados. Yeah, I try to make everything. So like Dragontown is definitely, I would say, appropriate for kids. And that's just where like my sensibilities lie. 1 second. Get this light fixed up. I talked about playing with Ghostbusters and Ninja Turtles, and I feel the same feeling that I got as a little kid playing with action figures is the same feeling I get sitting around the table with my friends playing a role-playing game. And so it just, I don't know, just makes sense in my head to have it feel like that. You know, when I close my eyes and think of a fantasy world, I think of these weird little characters and yeah. So I think all of this stuff is pretty like kid friendly. You know, play it with your kids, like absolutely. But excuse me. At the same time, if that is not your taste, and I do think everything is still, you know, like I was talking about that Great Goblin Flight adventure, and that's like, you know, there's these like fun goblins that are trying to blow stuff up, but it's also like a comment on Wizards of the Coast and like crappy wizards, and there's like these ghoul mercenaries that are really like not nice. So like it's there's lighthearted tone to everything, and there's fun to everything, because that's how I like to spend my time playing. But I think there is always the darkness below, right? So you can all of this stuff you can interpret how you want to play. Yeah, Brandon. Are we funded yet? We are funded. Where are we at? 22,000. Man, 260. Wow. That's awesome. Guess I'll leave it here for a minute. Definitely inspired you to start hand drawing stuff. Yes. That's the main goal. Thank you, Tony. Waiting for the Legion's foil. Yeah, it's there will be an update on Patreon later today about the solo rules and Legion's foil, and probably some of this Kickstarter stuff. Kind of letting everybody know where I'm at with that stuff. Starborg might be your first time DMing. I think Morkborg is actually a great. It is a good first time thing. You just have to be aware that it's different than what a lot of people see as D&D, where you know, the players are like these heroes that are going around saving the day and stuff. It's just the simple math behind it. It is much more dangerous. It's much harder to succeed on on rolls, and so and the damage can kill you right away and stuff. And I mean, we made it a little bit easier to not die right away in Starborg. It's like a little more dramatic, I guess. But yeah, it's a little bit more dangerous. So that's just something to be aware of. Wild Camel, you're drawing a dungeon. Yes. That's the whole thing. You can draw like I mean, I've said it a ton already on this stream. Like, if you can write the alphabet, you can draw. Cause like think about it, right? Like if you're writing the alphabet, you're saying in your mind, all right, I need to draw an A. What does an A look like? And you draw it, right? And it's drawing. That's what drawing is. That's like literally the basis of drawing. And so if you're drawing a dungeon, it's like, okay, what is the I know this room needs to be this big. And so you draw your rectangle or whatever that big, right? And like, okay, there needs to be a door here. A door is simple. It's just another little rectangle. Hallway. added stuff. You know, the guide will the Drawing Dungeons guide will give you the alphabet. So then you can just write the alphabet, and then you have a dungeon. It's like it's that easy. Um, yeah, yeah. I want everybody to draw. It doesn't have to be um, this. I think the saddest thing that happens is like as we grow up, and it's like it's the thing that I'm like so thankful to my mom for, is that she always like encouraged and um never like let me like get this stuff taken away. It was like when you know you, because like when you're a little kid, and everybody who has kids knows this, or you can try and like remember, like really think about it and remember. But when you're a little kid, I got to do a whole video about this, but when you're a little kid, every little kid can draw, right? And it's you know, you ask a little kid to draw something, and they just draw it. And like you know maybe it doesn't look like how us as adults think it should look, but to the kid it looks like, yeah, like, yeah, I'm gonna draw it. This is it, right? And somewhere along the way we lose that. And I think that's the like the it's like the bummer. It's like the bummer of our society. I don't know what it's like. Thanks, Kyle. I just talked about Starborg at length. um, yeah, but somewhere, you know, we have other kids that we start thinking like, oh, they look at their drawings, they can draw. Or we have adults saying that it's a waste of time, or all these outside things telling us that we can't draw, or it's not worth it, or it's not. And it's all bullshit. And I just want to remind everybody that there's the reward that you get from, and this is why we love role-playing games, right? There's something really amazing and magical about sitting down at a table and spending, you know, whether it's you know, you're alone and you're drawing something, or whether you're spending time with your friends and there's nothing there, and then you just spend some time and you create something. It's magic. It's magic, right? And it's like, why isn't everybody drawing drawing maps and playing games, and you know, yeah, that's my soapbox. You know, that's what this stuff's all about. So yeah, right, yeah, my drawing doesn't look like Akira Toriyama, so what am I doing? But like, so I just got the like the Akira Tori, whoops, yeah, backwards, manga, the manga theater book, and this is all Akira Toriyama's like early work, and it's like, I mean, so here's the thing, it's like, this is still his early professional work, right? So it's still him being paid to draw comics, but you go back and you look at the early stuff and it's like, man, there's like some jank in here. I mean, there's still some amazing, like, he's still drawing amazing vehicles and fun characters and stuff, but it's like you see the progression in this book. It's really, really cool. There's some you know, it's is it 80s? Is it the late 80s when it starts? I don't know. Yeah, early 80s. 1983. So, there's some questionable content in here for sure, big time. But it is still very interesting to see his progression, and that I think there's a big difference between doing something like, okay, all right, here's a good like, we all get together and we have our game groups, and people, I mean, I guess people talk about this all the time. We have our game groups and we get together and we just play an RPG for fun, right? And we just do it to have fun, and it's awesome, and that's all it needs to be, right? Why can't drawing be that too? Like, you can just draw a map to share with your friends, and that's all it has to be, and that's like enough, right? And man, Kyle hit me with this kind of question when I went on the Splat Book, his podcast. There's a disconnect between me having this Kickstarter and like publishing a book and doing these zines and like being professional about this stuff, while I'm also trying to teach people how to like just have fun drawing. And so I do want to be an example of how to go from just having fun drawing to like making things for other people, because I think that there is fun and value and stuff in that too. But also, like, you can just sit down and draw just to have fun, because it is fun, because it is the thing of like there being nothing and then you turning it into something, and that's fun and rewarding, and makes your brain go and is creative and all that stuff, right? And so it doesn't, like, we get stuck in this thing about drawings have, and it is the comparing to other people. Like, drawings don't have to be this professional thing to be awesome. And it's weird for me to say, like, in the middle of doing this Kickstarter, but like we put like this money and commodity value on top of drawing and art and everything, and it doesn't always need to have that. It doesn't have to be professional and able to make money and all of that stuff. Okay, soapbox over. What do I think about nostalgia critic? I'm not familiar. Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, that stuff sucks, man. Kajika. Yeah, Kajika is awesome. Yeah, I would say, man, Sandland, and then there's Kawa. I don't know how to say it. It's like this little vampire koala dude are like kind of my two favorite. Like, Sandland is the more like, it's really nicely drawn, and then Kawa, like, again, I don't know if I'm saying that properly, is Toriyama's like more kind of cutesy, like original Dragon Ball style. That one I really love. And then Kajika is probably like right under it, is like the next thing from his extended catalog of non Dragon Ball stuff. Yeah, vehicle design is insane. Toriyama was a bit of a creep. I mean, that is clear. That is clear from reading through that manga theater book. I'll say that. But we can also separate, I mean, there is a line. There's a line, and I don't think, where you put that line is maybe up to you, but then there's a point where that line is stopped for everybody, and I don't know that Toriyama's is drawing some questionable things that are clearly intended as harmless. Maybe that's a discussion for another time, but yeah, the Sandland anime was pretty good. It was cool how it like expanded it. That angel character was really weird, but I mean that's Toriyama, right? Nico Majin, yeah, I have the Japanese version of that, so I actually haven't read all of Kawa either. I've only read the first like couple of like fan translated chapters, but the Nico Majin, I've never actually read it, and it seems a little more straightforward Dragon Ball Z, just based on like flipping through it. Yeah, I should check out the game. There's too many good games to play. I'm excited to go play some UFO 50 here in a little bit. But okay, all right, let's get into okay. All the rewards and stuff make sense. Stretch goals, early backers get the cool patch. We've talked about stretch goals and stuff. This will probably get I'll start releasing. Oh man, I might have some requests. I got to think about that. Yeah, have fun. Have a fun trip. That's awesome. Excuse me. Sheesh. Talking too much. I need to drink some water. Okay. Stretch goals. I'll sort of release these. I wanted to kind of see how today went. Maybe even today and tomorrow, see how things go, just because I did not know what to expect. And so I didn't want to like have all my stretch goals planned and then not know what to do and all of that. So I'm going to kind of like think about things, and then I have a plan of like the stretch goals that I really want to see happen. And it's kind of like, getting I talked a little bit about like the 20,000 goal and why that's there, and, getting the little bit extra will allow to upgrade with the minimums and all this. I don't know, man. I had to make this whole big spreadsheet, which is not my, not my jam. But I got it all kind of figured out of where like the margins have to happen, and yeah, it's so I'll kind of revisit all of that with what I'm all of the support that's happening, and kind of figure out where these stretch goals land. I have cool plans, and there's some really exciting extra things that like I mean, basically, like, I'm trying to pack as much value into this stuff as I possibly can. And then the stretch goals are really just like bonus things. I mean, I'm approaching this like how I feel Kickstarter should be approached. And yeah. There's going to be some cool stretch goals. I mean, you kind of know what some of them are. So like there's the postcard dungeons, which I think are really fun. And maybe there'll be more than 3. I don't know. Right now I just have 3 planned. And then there's some, kind of upgrade type things, that come after. And I have one stretch goal that's like total vanity, like just stupid. It's almost like a stupid pun, but I think is really fun and like fitting with the theme of everything. And then there's like the really cool stuff that we'll talk about soon. So you're gonna run it with Morkborg just to keep everything. everyone on their toes. I mean, dude, I think it'll work. Like, there's some pretty like crazy stuff in here. um, Business and pleasure. I think that's the way to do trips, man. Like, if somebody else can like kind of pay for some of the big expenses of going on a trip, but then you also get some time for yourself. Like, that's a nice way to do a trip. Spoon back the box and reminded people on Sly Flourish Discord. Thank you. Michael was showing me all the kind stuff that people were saying on the Sly Flourish Discord. I love Mike Shea so much. I think he is just the best. I give a lot of credit to Matt Colville as someone who he like his early videos really did give me the confidence to start running games myself. And I think that's a really like special thing that I'll always kind of feel indebted to him. And also on top of that, Matt sort of was an example of like how to do YouTube in a way that's I think helpful and good, and encouraging people to be creative and all of that stuff. I think he's an example that was important for me for that as well. But then I say Mike Shea has kind of like taken that foundation for me. This is all me personally, like how I feel personally, and just like kind of keeps it going nonstop. So every week Mike is there with his podcast. I don't know if he calls it a podcast, but his like weekly show and his game prep things, and it's just like this nonstop, like, hey, you can. It's a nonstop, perfect example of how to engage with this hobby in a constructive and positive way. And I just really love it. So I think Mike Shea is awesome. And Sly Flourish and all of that stuff is awesome. Yeah. Bookmark ribbon. Yeah. That is absolutely, there's going to be a yellow gold dragon bookmark ribbon. Absolutely. That is something that is not part of this preview book. But there will be the red cloth binding on the spine. I'm trying to decide, oh shoot, what are they called? I'm blanking. There's this little piece of fabric that like holds the sewn binding guts of the book into the spine of the hardcover. It's like top and end something. I forget what they're called. I'm trying to decide if I want to do the like dark blue color or the light blue color for that. And then there's going to be the gold or yellow bookmark ribbon. And it's a lot of colorful. It's colorful. It's because that's what I like. A lot of extra colors and stuff. But I did go through a lot. I was originally thinking like, okay, this book, I want to make this book like awesome. And there's this gold dragon of Dragon Town, and it should be gold foiled out and stuff. And I decided to go against the gold foil just because for me, I would rather have the really bright saturated colors. I know the interior of the book is all black and white, and that's intentional too. A big part of this adventure is it's meant to feel kind of old school a little bit, and like the structure of the adventure, you're in a town. You're going underground. You're exploring. You're and there's it's supposed to feel kind of old school D&D a little bit. And even though the art is like cartoony and fun, like that's the tone of it, the structure and stuff is, it's all purposeful, right? But I wanted the outside of the book to be really colorful and bright, and same with the GM screen and all of that. So um, I moved away from gold foil, doing the spot gloss instead, which I think is going to be cool on the fire. And then that's what I always wanted on the darkness below words and stuff. But yes, there's going to be a bookmark ribbon. Because that's very important it's 200 page book, so you got to be able to keep your place, especially when you're like running it at the table and stuff. Audio cutting out. Is anybody else having that problem? Yeah, audio cutting out. That's not good. I don't know how to see. It says I've dropped 51 frames, which is 0%. Fine here. Nope. Okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep it moving. Okay. And I think, man, have I really been streaming for 3 hours? That's insane. Oh, there's lightning happening outside. Okay. It's been 3 hours. Storm is brewing outside. So let me very quickly go over here. I've been putting it off. We're going to talk about shipping a little bit, and then we'll try and bring it back around to a high note and in the stream. Okay. So the logistics of shipping are this. To be responsible about this campaign, I have to charge shipping at a later time, because at this scale, when you start getting up into the hundreds of people, little increments of money changing in the ratio of all of this stuff can end up costing a ton of money. And I'm sure you've heard stories about people getting screwed, like they have their Kickstarter at the end of September, and then they go to ship the books in June of the next year, and shipping prices have gone up, and they have if they have 1,000 people and they're short $2, that's $2,000 that they have to pay for. And that can, like, I'm trying to be as transparent as possible here. That can like really screw things up, right? So to avoid that, I have to charge shipping later. And so this grid here that we're looking at is an estimate of what shipping will cost. Now, the way shipping works is how heavy. Refreshing the stream will help with sound issues. The way that shipping works is it's based on how heavy the thing is that you're shipping, and how big the box is contributes a little bit. Basically these prices are like out of my control. And so it costs what it costs based on how much the book weighs. So this book weighs 1.5 pounds. And then when I put it in a box that it fits in, and add some of the things like maybe the postcards and a couple extra stretch goals that can happen. We're basically, it's 1.5 pounds already, so you have to round up. So it's basically, this is a 2-pound box that is going out, right? And so if I'm shipping it somewhere in the US, we're talking $10 because we're talking about the cost of postage and the cost of the box that this goes in. And that's how much it costs. And if we're talking about to the UK or to somewhere in Europe, the lowest I can get the cost down without, it's basically the lowest, is $30. And that's just what it costs. It sucks. I wish that I could send this to everybody around the world for $10. But it just, that's just not how it works. And then it goes up from there. So the box set, the box set weighs about 4 pounds. And then if you add 28 zines to it for the everything tier, that bumps it up to 7 pounds. And then the box gets a little bit bigger. There are, I have done some, calculations to, whether it's beneficial to use the United States Postal Service versus UPS. And these are all like negotiated rates, through ShipStation is what I use. It's like basically ShipStation takes all of its customers and then negotiates its rates with, the United States Postal Service and UPS and FedEx. FedEx is always more expensive, so I haven't even bothered to look at that. Like maybe there are cases where, if you live on some crazy island out in the middle of nowhere, that FedEx becomes cheaper than UPS. There's like situations where that changes, but it's all very, very complicated. And basically, I know that like some of these prices really suck, and especially when you have to deal with VAT and customs. And I guess what I'm trying to say is I am trying to get it as low as I possibly can, but just know that I'm like just one person, and the scale of this project. So we talked a little bit earlier about having like a UK or an EU fulfillment partner. And basically like that is an option that would cut down, so like books and box sets would be shipped to them directly, and then they would mail them out to people. And since they're mailing it from someplace in the UK or in the EU, the shipping would be lower and the customs would be lower. There's a scale problem with that, where basically there has to be enough volume. So let's look here. Like right now, we're at 274 backers, which is mind blowing. This is, it's, yeah. Okay. Still in a little bit of shock here. But so let's say we'll just like kind of make some even numbers here. Let's say that 200 of those people are US backers and 74 of them are, we'll just to make the numbers easier. I know this isn't how it actually is, but hypothetical. We'll say 74 are in, UK, EU, right? There's got to be a threshold of enough people that need their packages for a fulfillment place in the UK, EU to like take on the job, right? I'm just talking about minimums for the printers to like There's got to be a minimum number for them to be willing to like flip on the printer, right? Same for a fulfillment place. There has to be a minimum number of people for it to be worth it. And that kind of gets into it also gets into the margins of like, hey, it's going to cost this place this much money to do it. So there's a point where, if there's only 74 people, there might be a place that does it, but they're going to charge me an amount of money that is equal to what me shipping it myself and paying the extra money, all these, kind of high numbers, it would equal out, right? So it has to even out is basically what I'm not doing a very good job of explaining. So there is a line where that stuff can start to happen. And once that happens, I guess what I'm trying to say is just know that I want to get the cost down as much as possible. These estimates are all based on me doing the shipping right now. So if I had all of the box sets and all the books with me right now and mailed it out to you, this is around what it would cost. And I wish it was cheaper. But this is what it is. And also the thing that also sucks is like it can change. Like it can be, there is a world where it's $5 more expensive this time, in June when everything arrives, there's a world where it's $5 more expensive. It could be a little bit cheaper, like for example, right now, ShipStation, what I use, they just sent everybody the hey, here are the holiday increases. So every year, like USPS and UPS, everybody increases their prices a little bit because of the amount of volume that they get for holiday shipping. So like postage goes up. I mean, not a postage stamp. Those kind of go every year, but like postage, if you're just getting postage, every year at holiday time, it goes up. And so, hopefully in June or May or whenever I'm shipping it, the costs are down and it's, I'm going to charge you with backer kit. Once I get everything, that's when, cause I don't want to charge you the shipping money and then like sit here and wait, for multiple months to ship it. So you'll get charged the shipping portion through backer kit, close to time when I'm ready to ship all this stuff out. So you'll know exactly how much it costs and know that I am doing my very, very best as one person just handling all of this stuff. I'm doing my best with the help of people that have good advice. My wife runs her business, Band of Weirdos, and is expert shipper. And I've gotten some good advice from other people, and have a friend who runs a fulfillment place that I've gotten a lot of advice for this Kickstarter on. And if the scale gets to that point, I'm talking with him to handle fulfillment. And my goal is to keep all of the shipping costs as low as I possibly can. And I know that it's still too high. I know it, but it's like literally what it costs, So that's shipping. Does anybody? I kind of ignored chat here, but does that? I just want to be really clear about where the logistics and where my head is with all of this stuff, because I want it to be fair. Um, um, keep going. Yeah, I can feel my voice. I can feel my voice starting to strain here a little bit. Um, Shipping to UK will do nothing for duty reduction. Yeah, yeah. So that's the VAT stuff. Oh my gosh, it sucks. Um, it sucks. I mean, I know you hate it more than I do, and I hate it. I like, yeah. As the thing about the way my Patreon is set up is that the zines are a very specific size. They're a very specific weight. Um, and it's so I can mail them as letter mail, and it avoids a lot of this stuff. So a lot of this Kickstarter has been me learning how to figure out the logistics of, um, when when I mail zines out from my online shop. There's kind of this cutoff with weight. If you get a few zines and they weigh less than a pound, first class mail, it's pretty cheap, pretty good. Once you bump over that pound, it goes up. It goes up. I think from 3 to 4 ounces. So usually it's 4 ounces. The zines are 4 ounces and above, and then it bumps up. And this is really in the weeds here, but this is the stuff that I'm trying to figure out, right? The price bumps up a little bit when you go from 8 to 9 ounces, and then when you leave a pound, you can no longer do first class. This is within the United States. You can no longer do first class mail. You have to go to a more expensive priority mail. There's others, shipping rate, and it bumps up the price. And that's just how it is with the cutoff with the how much stuff weighs, right? And so a big challenge of this is all right, every part of this Kickstarter weighs more than a pound. And so what am I doing with 2 pounds and 4 pounds and 7 pounds? And how does that affect things? And this grid that we're looking at, there is a cutoff point on some of these prices where it goes from UPS, or it goes from USPS, United States Postal Service, being the cheaper option, to then UPS being cheaper. And it's all math and money, and it's the shitty part, but it's part of it. So I hope that explains kind of where I'm coming from. Just know that I'm trying my hardest with it. Yeah. Yeah, can't compete with Amazon shipping. Yeah, dude. Oh man. Yeah. I mean, yeah. It's like, yeah. Think about the scale. That's what I want. I mean, that's important to remember, right? And I think about this a lot. Think about the scale of Amazon. They have robots pulling stuff off warehouse shelves and putting it in boxes, and an army of probably very underpaid, undertreated workers delivering this stuff, and it's and then it's just me. It's literally me. And okay, this is how we're gonna end the stream, because I think this is important. And this is a big part of me wanting to tackle this project and see if this is something of the scale of this this Kickstarter is something that I can manage, right? Because with my Patreon, I've been very lucky to build the Patreon into something that supports me. It's my full-time job now, and that's insane and awesome. And this is insane and awesome, and all of this is really cool. And something that's really important to me, and we've kind of been talking about like fulfillment places, and I really, really resisted um, um, doing that stuff, because I think there's and maybe I don't explain this super well, but there's something really important and special that I find about every month on Patreon. I I start the month, I have this idea in my head, and spend a week, sometimes two, writing up the thing. And then I spend some time doing the layout, and then I spend the time illustrating it, and then I do the cover and post it. I post the PDF on the Patreon, and then people get to read it. But it doesn't just end there. I send it to a printer, and like if in my ideal world, I could like go down in my basement and print everything myself. But there is a sort of like, I'll explain it, right? So I send it to the printer, I get it back. The boxes come to my house, and I pull out each individual zine myself, and I put it into an envelope, and I print out the address labels, and I put the address labels with your names and your addresses on it. And I actually just put it on my front porch, because UPS or USPS has this great thing where our mail guy, our awesome mail guy who's so nice, comes up to our front porch and takes all the packages away. And there's something really meaningful and special to me about that process, where I can, I've talked about it on the stream, I talk about it in the videos all the time. I can start from just an idea, and then I can take it all the way through to it's basically me handing you the zine, right? It's like one step away from that. It's as close as I can get to handing each and every patron the zine myself, right? And that's something that's just really important to me, because I feel like if you give me $12 a month and are like, hey, make this crazy, whatever crazy thing you want to make, I'm down with that. I want to be able to hand that thing directly to you. And so this Kickstarter is an experiment with that. Right. So I want that to continue. I want, if you're spending $350 to get everything, I really, really, really want to put that box set and all of those zines into the box and print the label out. And if I could deliver it to your door, I would. You know what I mean? Like, it's that important. And so the Kickstarter is kind of an experiment in the scale of that thing, because there does come a point, and I've butted up against it a few times. I'm gonna do a Patreon update a little bit later this afternoon, probably this evening now at this point, kind of talking a little bit about this. Like there's been a little bit of delay in the last months going out, because I've been preparing for this, because I'm just one person. There's literally only so much time I have in the day, right? And my voice is starting to crack because I've been talking so much, and I'm getting emotional. This is all very, very emotional. And there's only so much. I only have so much time, and so there is a point where there's if I'm spending so much time shipping out books, I still think that's really important and I really want to do it. But if I'm spending so much time because there's so many books that need to go out, that's taking away from time that I would be making more zines, making more books, right? So that's the big experiment of all of this. That's what I'm trying to learn, what's possible, what I can do, and like still have a healthy life and still like be a normal person, and kind of figure out all of that stuff. And I work a lot at trying to be efficient with these things and figure that stuff out. But yeah, that's the big experiment. And so like, when I talk about things like having a UK or EU fulfillment place, like in the back of my head, I'm like a little bummed because, you know, I'm not getting to pack up that stuff, those boxes and send them out. But also like, hey, if it's gonna save, if that's gonna allow some more people to get this stuff, then that sacrifice is worth it, right? That's where my head's at. I'm getting a lot of congratulations, and man, thank you all. Oh, is Deck Save Dan in here? Deck Save Dan, yeah. So I'm gonna post this on my community page, but I had an awesome. Everybody go check out Deck Save Dan. I did it. I just did an interview. I guess it's up maybe, or maybe in a little bit it'll be up. I did an interview there. Super fun. Big fan of Deck Save Dan and his channel. Yeah. Hey, thanks, Chris and Jens. Yeah, yeah, I just want to be very clear with where I'm at. Casey, you're the best, dude. Thank you. Silver, was sent by Deck Save Dan. Yeah, right on, Ed. It's up. Yes, cool. Okay, so I'm gonna end the stream. I imagine I feel like I was pretty comprehensive about all this stuff, but I imagine that as this week goes on and things get unlocked, there's going to be more questions. So I'm thinking that instead of a regular video this Sunday, I am going to have a little video. Right on, Brandon. Thank you, man. I have a little video coming out later today, and like I said, the Patreon update will happen. And then I think instead of the normal Sunday video, I might do another live stream, like kind of Q&A thing. Ooh, my voice is starting to go. I'll get my voice recovered for a Sunday live stream. Yeah, right on, Brandon. Yeah, I'll be doing. I got some more videos planned. Got some more live stream things planned. We'll be talking about stretch goals and like maybe, I don't want to say making that stuff together, but I'm gonna like bring you in along the process and show you some of the like making of the stretch goal stuff. Yeah, it's just exciting. I can't believe I gotta go make a what funded in 2 hours button for the image on the Kickstarter, because you guys are so awesome. Dude, that is insane. All right. This is, hey, I'm gonna be talking up this thing all month long. So if you haven't heard enough about it, but I don't know, it's exciting, and I'm just really stoked to make this thing real, and make this box real and send it to everybody. And yes, I'm gonna go order some cookies to celebrate. All right, thank you all so much. Really, like from the bottom of my heart, this is crazy. I'm so appreciative. I can't even talk. Thank you so much. Hey, I'll see you in the next one.